Every night, you know, when I lay down and I look and I think about it, I always reflect on my day and have a tendency of reflecting on my past. So every day, of course, it disturbs me. Taking a life, of course, is going to disturb anyone. You know, you have to have remorse. All of us are conscious human beings. We all have emotions, whether we want to hide them through whatever we encounter or we want to put a persona as if we're strong. But of course, when you look at it, you say, wow, I took a human life. They had houses here, so they knocked them houses down and bought all the property.
Yeah, that's what we used to play back. We used to go right here and play right back in the back right here all the time.
This is the way to cut through. Them buildings back there were abandoned. The church, you see it now, the church is still falling apart. Yeah. I'm surprised that it's still there and it's still falling apart. As soon as I came out, I drove through Times Square and everything looked different. All the signs were different. The honking of the horns, the pressures while you're driving, everything's a little scary. Because remember, you've been walking around, you pull them, the car, the beeps, the honking. I was just really flabbergasted. I was amazed just looking at everything. You know, this wasn't here when I left. That wasn't here when I left. I went through the street that I grew up on was traffic that used to come in from the main boulevard. Now the traffic is going out to the main boulevard, so they changed the direction of the street. There used to be a big abandoned lot, now it was a school. Like so much was changed dramatically. This is like where we did everything at.
In the morning, where we used to be at early in the morning, right here. This was our spot.
Our spot used to be right there early in the morning. When we was youngin', we used to be hustling right here. Right here, we used to be hustling, just grinding, vibing.
I guess that's why they put the gates, man, for, you know, it make it harder for a person to do things, like to, you know, sell drugs.
We used to have, see, back then, they used to have the tournaments. The basketball tournaments used to be here, back on the weekends.
After 17 years of me seeing him again, I was like, oh man, yo, it was wonderful. As soon as he came home, I bought him this, matter of fact, the sneakers you probably seen him with, I bought them for him. You know, he still got them, he cherished it, you know, like.
Yeah, you remember, well, Niv remember, man, back in the days, man, in '88, we was on our grind, we was hustling and hanging out, you know, living a double life, going to school during the day and coming out at night, and we were coming over here, we were hustling, we was grinding. I would say my mentality was warped because I had the gangster mentality. You know, I thought nothing could happen to me. I had that heat. You know how when we pack that heat, how it feels like we know it's about to go down.
After a good 4 years in prison, I met Jason. I went to a prison where he was already at. We was in the same housing unit, and we met, we clicked off. We used to study together, and we used to play basketball together, and we used to hang out.
I didn't have my birth certificate, I didn't have a social security card, I didn't have anything. I had to go through that whole process. I couldn't even get an ID. And that ID, I think, is only good for 30 to 60 days. As soon as after that, I went in looking for jobs. I remember I had no experience, so I had to make up, like I use my favorite phrase, that I was a concoction of a resume to say that I had some experience, which I had none. They see, have you ever been convicted of a felony, because you don't want to lie to them, and then they give you the job and then they find out they're going to fire you anyway. And so you were convicted for a felony. You know, how much time did you do? What did you do? This, that, and the third. Then they begin to question you. And the minute you tell them what happened and the case which you was convicted for and everything, kind of like hinders. They're really afraid to give you the chance, because the people they gave a chance before me being released messed it up. Shoot it, shoot it. Good pass, good pass. Nice, shot the pass. Shoot it, shoot it. Oh!
When he first came home and I saw him, I was astonished, and besides the crying and getting over that, I couldn't believe he didn't have a tattoo on his body, and I was expecting all that. And when I saw him that his body was non-tattoo and he looked so clean cut, and I was really surprised. But you gotta finish, or they'll let you go, ask for permission, and
I know I have to go through the whole process, asking permission and waiting and seeing if I have another address over there. Somebody was still at least there to take their place. As soon as I was released, she was there to take their place. Like, look, I'm gonna support you and we're gonna move on from here. Forget it. And then, you know, the transition began from there. Like, coming home, you would think, you know, you're gonna be all slouched and scared. I wasn't afraid. I was ready to accept the challenge.